All right. If you are an entrepreneur, you've likely gotten the advice to grow on TikTok. We know that it's all the rage. It's where all the new kids are hanging out, right? We know that on TikTok Shop and just, of course, people of all ages now are gravitating towards TikTok. I'm not here to try to convince you of something. I'm going to actually start by asking you a question. And then, based upon the answer to this question, you might choose to turn it off. Now, as much as I want you to stick around, I also want to make sure that I'm providing you value and important information that is going to serve you. So if this doesn't, then you have my permission to go ahead and do that. But if you are sitting in the doctor's office or you are waiting to get your car oil changed and you open up your phone, which is the first social media app that you would open? Now, you might go between a few different ones, but which one is the first one that you're most likely to open? If that is Facebook, then I want you to stick around. And if it's not, maybe stick around and hear why you might want to consider growing on Facebook. Well, I'm Franny. I'm a former classroom teacher with almost 20 years of veteran experience. However, I've now pivoted and I'm an entrepreneur and I'm absolutely obsessed with helping Christian entrepreneurs grow their businesses and be successful. Far too often we are feast or famine and we go that through that sales roller coaster. And I only say that because I know that and I live that. And then I started with digital marketing, and that has been a game changer for my business where I have consistent 4-figure weeks and 5-figure months. And so that's been a huge, huge win for me. So I want to share with you some details today as to why I think you should grow your business online using Facebook. That was the channel that the route that I went, much to the chagrin of many people who said, you should really start with TikTok. If you're going to go ahead and start a new platform, start from zero, you can really build. There were many reasons why I chose not to do that, but I'm going to share with you today 5 as to why I think you should use Facebook. First and foremost, if you are a midlifer like me, I'm almost 50 at the time of this recording. Most likely, this was one of the first apps, one of the first social media apps that you started using. Perhaps you're on MySpace, I'm not sure. But this most likely you started way back when. I'm almost 20 years into Facebook, I think. And so when I think about that, I think about all the people who have been following me. There's a no like trust factor, there's the credibility, there's my reputation. And so people already know you. And so why not use that and leverage that? That's a really important part of business is leveraging your assets. And so that's one of the great reasons. Now, some of the people have said to me, I really don't want my friends and family to know what I'm doing. And I'm going to say, stop and hold up right there. This might be a little Holy Spirit truth bomb for you right there for a second. Let me share with you. If you are afraid of sharing something, truth bomb, then I wonder if you really believe in the product or the program. So whether you're with a network marketing company or they're your own coaching services or things like that, you're afraid of coming off as spammy pammy or whatnot, then I wonder how much you really believe in those services that you feel like they're going to help somebody. So you're like, I have to tell them about this. I have to tell them. Far too often we go out and we get our hair cut or we go to a great restaurant or we go see a really great movie and then we tell everybody about it. But we don't do that about our own products or services that we're selling. So I would encourage you, if that is something that you have an objection and a block that you have been saying to yourself and speaking over your business, you might want to reframe that. Because if it's something you truly believe in, you should want other people to know about it. If you think that what you have can help other people, which guess what? That's what business is designed to do. It's meant to solve problems. And the other thing that's really important, you guys, is 92% of the people go online, they're looking for a solution. They're looking for a solution to a problem. Now, for some people, it's just to, cure their boredom. They want to be entertained. But for many people, they're looking for something online. And sometimes people are not even problem aware. They don't even know they have a problem. That's what your content and messaging, and there's a difference. That's what your content and messaging is designed to do. Oh, and by the way, you guys, I'm going to talk about content and messaging next week. I'm actually hosting September 23rd through the 27th. This is 2024 at the time of this recording. That I will be hosting a Facebook Foundations 5-day mini workshop series. So if you're interested in that, just go ahead and see the comments below and you'll see the link to sign up for that. All right, let's dive in. 5 reasons why I believe that you should use the OG Original Gangster Facebook to grow your business online. Number 1, as I mentioned, I'm a midlifer. You've got that no like trust factor. So you want to go ahead and leverage that. It's really important to leverage your assets. If you already have a following, even if you have 500 people, you guys, there's most likely 1, 2, 5, they say the average conversion is about 20%. So think about the people that you might be able to help and think about the messaging that you want to create to be able to meet their need and then solve their problem. As they always say, you give people what they want and you're going to get what you need. When I did a survey a couple weeks ago, I actually sent out an email to my email list, and then I did a survey in my polls on both Facebook and Instagram. And then I actually used one of the features in Facebook, which I'll talk about here in a second. And I actually posted a poll in all of those places and spaces. And overwhelmingly, the data came back, the conclusive data. I asked the question, if you, just like I did in the beginning of this video, if you had 10 minutes and you were getting your oil changed, where would you spend your time? Which app would you open? And I gave them 4 options. I didn't want to give them too many, but I gave them 4 options. I gave them TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and I also gave LinkedIn because many of the people are professionals. A lot of entrepreneurs do follow me. I had 0 for TikTok, 0. Now, I didn't post this on TikTok, but I had 0 come back and say LinkedIn, but I had 27 and 30 and 73. 73% of people said they opened Facebook first. So that was overwhelmingly, driven by Facebook. And so I thought, oh my goodness, I need to go ahead and help people. If they already have Facebook as their primary social platform, why aren't they leveraging it? All right. So that is really important to notice. Leverage your assets. All right. Number 2, you don't need to have a certain number of subscribers to post a link. On TikTok, you have to have a certain number of subscribers. Now, you can do this on Instagram as well, but it's really, really easy. And next week in our course, I'm going to actually show you how to post a link in your cover photo, which is really important to know how to do as well. So you don't also need a certain number of subscribers or followers to go live. You can go right there and go live. You can go live in your stories. You can go live on your feed. Same thing for Instagram. Of course, they're both owned by Meta. But again, I'm focusing in on Facebook tonight, okay? And I will be focusing in on Facebook next week in our course. So number 3, I love variety. I do not like to get bored. I'm the kind of a person, I like to flit here, there, and everywhere. So you can do a color block post, you can do a static post, you can do an image, you can do a carousel, which means several pictures. You can post a poll, as I just mentioned a few minutes ago. These are all native features within Facebook. So you can use any of those. And then guess what? You can also post short form video, which performs really high on all platforms. So you can do all of those things, which is wonderful. So if you're really, really tired and you're like, oh, let me just see if I can go ahead and make a quick quote card in Canva, so it's on brand, then you can just go ahead and post that right there. Or you can just go ahead and make it a color block. Or you can post a little GIF. Here's how I'm feeling right now. And then you could ask, how are you feeling? Something super short and sweet and simple, but yet it still provides value. You're entertaining somebody, you're educating somebody, doing something that is then, of course, getting people to interact with your content. Next is it will help you save time. Now, the reason why I say this is because you can actually schedule out if you are a content creator, if you have the creator professional mode on Facebook, you can schedule out and you can use other hosting platforms to schedule content for yourself as well. But the reason why I say it saves time, if you're using TikTok and you have no clue how to do a reel, you're going to spend hours and hours and hours. Now, not to say that you shouldn't. I'm all for learning. I'm a former classroom teacher. One of my favorite expressions is we learn not for school, but for life. So I firmly believe you should learn how to do it. But if you're just getting started and you want to go ahead and start getting some momentum, some acceleration, and you want to start getting some sales, then start with what you have. Just like God says to Moses, he says, what's in your hand when he's trying to part the Red Sea and he holds up his staff, right? Just like with David, with, the story of David and Goliath with the sling and the stone, what's in your hand? He already had a sling and a stone and he knew how to use it really well. Most of us have a phone and know how to use it pretty well. Now, adding reels and adding TikTok videos and whatnot to your toolkit is going to be really important as you grow. But for right now, start with what you have. Don't make it more complicated than it has to be. Okay. And stop making excuses. Real talk right here. And then lastly is I can help you. So if you haven't signed up for the foundations class yet, please go ahead and do that. Also, if you can go ahead and subscribe to my email, let me know how I might be able to help you. Put in the comments below what you're maybe curious about. I'll do some Q&A next week, but also I can create future videos if you're like, hey, well, what about this? And what about this? You guys, I've been able to use Facebook to really, really, really grow my business since the end of May. I'm having multiple 4-figure weeks, 5-figure months, which is amazing. And they're consistent. So as we know, that feast or famine, God wants us to be able to have that sustainable income. Now, as an entrepreneur, It's not always going to be the case, but when you have the right strategies, when you have the right tools in place, that is so much more consistent, right? It's so much easier when you have the right things in place. So I pray that this blesses you. That's always my highest hope and prayer is that you learn one new thing. If so, go ahead and drop it below. Let me know which of those you might try on for size this week, which of those tools you might use to start integrating into your business this week. I hope you have a great day, and I'll look forward to seeing you hopefully on our Facebook Foundations class next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.